place the target out in front of you about 20 to 30 feet. The first step of the quick step process for the gravitator recovery system is extending the antenna. On the right side of the gravitator is the on-off switch. Press the rocker switch upward. That will turn on the gravitator. It will turn on the liquid crystal display. Right now, the screen is in the gold mode, and the tuning knob is set at 2. This is where we would like you to set up when you're first starting to learn how to use the gravitator. It is desirable for most operators of the gravitator to take the base of the antenna and push it back in to the antenna enclosure. Demonstrated is what happens when the machine is not tuned properly and how to make adjustments to tune it properly so that you get detection. The operator scans by the practice target in the distance. As you can see, there's no resistance provided by the antenna system when the machine is out of tune. What the operator wants to do, go to your tuning knob, adjust it to a different setting, rescan the area of interest. As you can see in the video, the tip of the antenna now is attracted to your practice target. These are adjustments that need to be made when you're learning how to get the optimum tuning, the optimum attraction for your gravitator recovery system. Balance state, scanning the gravitator from right to left. The tip of the antenna is tracted in the direction of the gold target. Going back left to right, the tip of the antenna again is attracted to the practice target in the distance. Almost equally as important as balancing the equipment is the sweep. Scan left to right and right to left by your practice target. What will happen, as you can see in the video, the tip of the antenna wants to stay attracted to the gold practice target in the distance, even as the operator continues to move their arm past the target. We have a target that's buried in the ground. It's a small gold nugget. What we do is we have an open air target. And what an open air target is, it's a target that's placed above ground. We have it in a container and we throw it out into a field or out in front of us to help us tune our gravitator. And what it means to tune your gravitator is to have it set on your tuning knob, on your fine tuner, the base of the antenna, and the length of your antenna to where that you're getting the strongest attraction. And what I mean by an attraction is the tip of the antenna wants to stay attracted in the direction of the gold or silver that you're trying to tune to. So as you, like so, as you scan your electroscope, there it is, you can see I'm moving my arm past the practice target, but it wants to stay attracted in the direction. As I continue to go back, it stays attracted. The tip of the antenna stays attracted in the direction of my target. As you can see, I'm keeping it balanced. I have it set up at 2 on the side to where I work the best. I have it in the gold mode. I'm tuning it to a gold target. I'm not worried about my electronic triangulation at this time. I'm trying to find out where I'm going to get the strongest attraction, where the tip of the antenna is pointing towards the goal. Gently go to press the trigger button, and I record the compass module at 45 degrees northeast. I'm going to go 10 meters to my right, and then we're going to take a second scan. I've moved 10 meters to my right, I press the trigger button, and I rescan the area of interest. I get my attraction, I bring it back until I get a straight attraction, and it goes back again. I'm really checking to make sure I got this lined up. And when I get it lined up down the barrel of the antenna, I let it settle in for a couple seconds. I'm going to press the trigger button. It's going to tell me I'm 14 meters away. I'm going to walk it off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm almost practically 14 meters away from my initial spot. So the compass module was not a perfect measurement. I was pretty darn close when I moved from point A to point B. So that's what we have to do. We have to establish the scan, nice, smooth, and steady. You know, right now, here's what we don't want. We don't want you tilting it over, tipping it over, causing the antenna to be balanced. There are two guides on this to help you. The 4 arrows that go north, south, east, and west, and up in the upper right corner, as you can see, the lines aren't producing more than 2 or 3. If I'm down too far, I have 6 lines. If I'm up too far, I have 6 lines. And look what happens to my antenna. It flops over. We don't want that. We want to keep it balanced. Look at me right now. I have it nice and balanced. And as I scan it over the area, I'm getting the attraction. That's what we're looking for. That's the attraction you're looking for. You might initially, and I'm going to try to explain this the best I can. Originally, when you get it, it might just be like a little, that first one I'm first hitting it, it's just a nibble. But look at that. When I have it tuned properly, that's a strong pull. That's a strong detection. And I bring it back to where I'm straight down the barrel of the antenna, and I press my trigger button to get that compass reading. But I wait a couple seconds to let it settle in. And that's what we're trying to establish. Here's an example of another technique that you can use when you're out in the field trying to use the gravitator. I'm keeping it nice and balanced. As you can see, if you have to point it down a little bit towards the ground to maintain balance, that's okay. You don't have to have it perfectly, but if you have it dipped a little bit to control it because you're just learning how to use it, that's fine. But watch the tip of the antenna. I'm walking down where I got my triangulation. I'm walking down. I'm taking it nice and slow. I'm getting to the area of interest, and look what's happening to my antenna system. My antenna system is turning 90 degrees towards me, if you can see that. It's 90 degrees. I stop. I mark the ground where that occurred. Let's go back again and repeat that session. Gravitator, balanced. I'm walking by my area where I had the triangulation, and this doesn't have to be used with the triangulation method. This can be used as a separate method. You can use this to establish only one line of bearing, and you walk down that line, and this is what will happen. The unit is going to turn like that, and you mark the ground. And then what you can do, you can come the other way, see? And you repeat the process, but from the opposite direction. So we bring it back up to a balanced state, or you can put a little dip in the antenna. I'm trying to control it. It's trying to point towards it right now, which is making it a little bit hard, but gosh darn it, I'm walking, and what's happening is it's repelling early. It's repelling early. So now I mark the ground here. I have it marked up ahead of me. In between those two, I set up an area of search to pinpoint, make a recovery with my conventional metal detector. So that's another point, or another tip you can use. I'm going to give you one more that I find that works very well for me. I get down on one knee towards the ground, and I scan the gravitator like this. Sometimes I find that I get a pretty good reaction when I get down on one knee and I'm scanning the gravitator. See how that tip of the antenna points in the direction even though I continue to move my arm? That's what we're trying to accomplish. That's how we set up an accurate line of bearing in the distance. That's what we want. So hopefully this tape helps you out, and if you have any other questions, you can send me an email or have somebody call. Thank you. To activate the gravitator recovery system, there's a rocker switch on the right side. You depress the rocker switch up, the screen activates. For the purpose of this explanation, we're going to turn the backlight on. It's a black push button switch on the left-hand side. In the upper left-hand corner of the liquid crystal display is the battery icon that tells you how much battery power you have left in the gravitator. In the lower left-hand corner is your gold-silver indicator. That's controlled by a rocker switch on the left-hand side of the gravitator. When the rocker switch is depressed in the lower section, it's in the gold mode. When you press the rocker switch up, it switches to the silver mode. The icon above the gold and silver indication is the balance mechanism. It'll usually highlight a north, south, east, and west arrow. We have it mounted in the device right now to try to keep it free. So you can use this to help you with your balance indication. It doesn't have to have all 4 arrows to be perfectly balanced. It can be at 3. It's a very sensitive device. This information here, that's a compass module. As you're scanning the gravitator, these numbers will adjust. They use them for electronic triangulation. So when you're at point 1, as that's blinking, say you get a detection at 151 degrees southeast, you'll depress the trigger button. And when you depress the trigger button, it goes through the process of electronically triangulating once you move to your second area of interest in increments of 10 meters. And then once you get a detection at your second point, you depress the trigger button and it gives you a distance, which I will show you in just a moment. In the upper right-hand corner is an electrostatic flux meter. We also use that for balance as well. As long as it's between 2 or 3 lines, either upward or downward, that means that you have the gravitator relatively balanced. So I'm going to show you real quick. If you depress the trigger button, which I can get to here, you can cycle through your triangulation. So I depress the trigger button, as you can see, comes up in increments of 10 meters. You can adjust that to however far you want point 1 and point 2 to be. I usually don't tell people to go much further than 10 meters because it's really not necessary. So once you establish that you're at the 10 meter spot, you depress the trigger button again. It sets up your second line, and just for the demonstration purpose, I'll move it a little bit just to adjust that. Say your detection's right there. You can see the compass reading has been adjusted. You depress the trigger button one last time. Tells you your distance that you approximately need to go. This is not perfect spot-on pinpointing. We get you in an approximate area, although the compass module is pretty good. I mean, it's not going to have you 100 meters away or 50 meters away. I usually try to tell people we try to get you within a 3 to 4 meter area. So that's the features and functions on the Gravitator Recovery System liquid crystal display. If you want to clear out the screen, go to the right rear black push button, press it, starts it all over again.